All right, time for the aviation section of my soda can sculpture collection. Everything you see is made entirely out of soda cans, glue, and paint, with only a couple of exceptions. First up, we have one of my favorite airplanes of all time, the F4U Corsair. This is actually an homage to the very first soda can sculpture I ever made. In my 20s, I went into a bar and they had this huge Budweiser biplane. It was hanging from the ceiling. The fuselage was Budweiser cans glued together. I went home, dug through the trash, only had 3 or 4 soda cans, so I decided, hey, I could make a small version. The first version I made was much less fancy, but people liked it, and I thought maybe I was onto something. Moving on, F-16. Of course, it is the Air Force Thunderbirds. I'm ex-Navy, so of course I had to create an F-18 Blue Angel. Here we have the ultimate, the SR-71 Blackbird. Here we have the A-10, the Warthog. I did have to use soda bottle for the canopy. I actually whittled a piece of wood out and kind of heated the plastic and formed it around it. Unfortunately, the canopy is a little bit small, but I'm not going to rebuild this because it still looks like a Warthog. Here we have the Vought VE-7. This is an important aircraft in our military's history, in aviation history. It is one of the first aircraft ever to be launched from an aircraft carrier. If I understand correctly, it is the first American launched plane. This is a pretty cool, fun build. I struggled to find an iconic plane to build. I didn't want to make the Red Baron's plane. I'm patriotic. I wanted something that symbolized America's great successes. My daughter suggested doing an airliner. I wanted to do a passenger plane, but there was no way I was going to be able to paint individual little windows and make it look decent. So I chose to make a FedEx carrier plane, the MD-11. That's that. And this is my final one. No, I didn't build it to look like this. I just dropped it from like 4.5 feet, hit the ground as hard as could be in the case, and it burst into pieces. Of course, it's a B-17 bomber. I will repair it and restore it to its glory. I wanted to share this one because, yes, B-17 bomber, iconic airplane. My grandfather served in the war on one of these. He used to be a tail gunner, and then he became a bombardier. This is a piece of flak. They would shoot these pieces into the air. As you can see, it's pretty big, next to a quarter. This particular piece came through the plane, struck my grandfather in the neck. It was not a fatal wound. He saw the piece cling around the ship, and the airplane, he was able to run over and grab it and throw it in his pocket. Thankfully, he wasn't badly injured, and he kept that. And I glued that in with the bomber as a little bit of a tribute to my grandpa. Unfortunately, it's broken, so I'll fix it. That's the bad thing about art sometimes. You take risks showing it off. I shouldn't have dropped it. I can't believe I did that. But that is some of my collection. As I said before, everything's made out of soda cans, glue, and paint. If you'd like to see more, follow. God bless. Thanks for watching.